9 years ago, My Hero Academia came out. I know, it's crazy to say that, guys, that 9 years ago, one of my favorite animes came out. Guys, welcome to my first ever episode of the Let's Talk series, where we're going to be talking about, of course, My Hero Academia, because the anime just recently ended a few days ago, as of me recording this. But it's definitely not over, because there is one more special episode coming out in May of 2026. So May of this year, because it is also 2026 already. But no, I wanted to sit down and just talk about the anime and everything. Talk about, like, we'll be going over a few things. I'll be going over, like, my favorite characters. I have 10 characters I'm going to be talking about, not in a specific order, because I like most of the characters in the show. So we're talking about, like, my favorite characters, some of my least favorite characters. Another topic that I know is kind of mixed on some people's opinions, but I'm going to talk about it because it was big for me. But let's just first start off with the anime in general. I thought it was really good. From the very beginning of this anime, I thought it was really, really good. I started watching My Hero when I first started watching anime, to be honest with you guys. And that was when it first came out in 2016. I was 11, guys. So that is right there, 9 years of my life. I'm 20. I'll be 21 this year, guys. It's crazy that I had to grow up with this anime. This was basically my childhood anime. It wasn't the first anime I ever watched. That was actually Naruto. Because I'm going to go over how I got into anime real quick, guys. This is basically what this whole series is going to be about. It was just me rambling on about stuff. But I didn't get into anime until around 2015, 2016. And that was because my friend group were big Naruto fans. So I had never seen Naruto, so I kind of decided to watch it. And I don't fully remember how I got into My Hero, but I did. And I fell in love with it from the very, very beginning. It's crazy that I just chose a show random. I probably chose this anime randomly, or I saw something and I started to start watching it to this point where this is one of my favorite animes. This is one of my top animes of all time so far. And I know I haven't watched a whole lot. There's still plenty of animes I need to watch, but I don't see anything overtopping My Hero. I mean, I wouldn't say it's my favorite anime, because I think Assassination Classroom is probably right now my favorite, because I really enjoyed Assassination Classroom. But My Hero is definitely top 3. I don't see it ever falling out of top 3. I mean, maybe there's an anime that will blow me away that knocks My Hero out, but for right now, I'm confident with My Hero being in my top 3 favorite animes. Right now, it's at 2. It's at my 2 spot. And for a while there, people would laugh at you for that. Because a lot of people didn't like this anime. They thought it was... I'm not sure. I'm not really sure what the big complaints were. I can see it maybe being about Deku being kind of a mid to lame main character, because we are mainly following Izuku Midoriya. But to me, he's not lame at all. He's actually my favorite character in the show, if I'm being completely honest with you. I get why. I don't know. He does cry a lot. I know that's a big thing that people don't like about him. And it's the same thing with, like, I'm going to use an example here. A lot of people criticize Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man because he cries a lot. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's legit nothing wrong with you crying too much. Because crying shows that you actually care about something. And I never saw it as a bad thing. But when this show first came out, a lot of people did not like it. Or, well, it's not that they hated it. It's just that they didn't like some of the characters. And there's some other stuff that was going on. Like, shipping was a big thing that deferred people from this anime. I do know that for a fact. A lot of people shipped Bakugo with Deku. And to me personally, that's not. I did not do that because I thought that was really more. They had more of a rivalry than a romantic relationship, I want to say. And I'm getting ahead of myself. I was going to talk about this stuff later, but I can see why people would be deferred. Because, like, for example, another big show that I watched as a kid was Star versus the Forces of Evil, which a lot of people started hating towards the end because it became more of a shipping show with Marco and Star, and it just took away from the story. And I get shipping takes away from a lot of stories, to be honest. And My Hero was never a show that was really focused on romance. It was more focused on the heroic aspects of it, I want to say, and like more of the characters just growing as people, as heroes, and there was like small hints of romance throughout, with of course the biggest ship being Uraraka and Deku, with those two. But that was really all. And then we did get one like big couple, which was the Water Hose Heroes. That wasn't like a big couple, but they were like the first hint of like romance, to be honest with you. If I'm even remembering correctly, because I'm not fully sure if there's really any. I mean, then we get like Miss Joke and Aizawa at the licensing exam, but like, I'm not gonna go into all that. I want to talk about My Hero and like how this was my childhood anime, guys. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. This was my childhood anime. It's crazy. It came out the same year Stranger Things came out, and it ended the same year as Stranger Things as well. This year, technically last year, saw a lot of shows end. Netflix had three end. Actually, four, if I remember correctly. But yeah, I had four, because Squid Game ended, then you had Cobra Kai, which ended. Another one that not a lot of people watched was Jurassic World, not Camp Cretaceous, but Chaos Theory. I like that show, because I'm a big Jurassic Park fan. And then, of course, Stranger Things ended. So there was a lot of like shows that ended this year, and I don't know. I'm not sure I'm rambling on about this one. I'm supposed to be talking about My Hero, but this was my childhood anime, guys. This is one of the shows that I grew up with. A lot of people grew up with Stranger Things. I grew up with that, but then there's My Hero. There's Pokemon. But My Hero is like my big anime that I grew up watching. I look forward to every season. I was so excited. I was keeping up on it constantly and everything like that. And I have a hoodie with Zuko and Katsuki or Bakio on it. And I have the Deku and Eri, or however you say her name. I think it's Eri. Funko Pop. I have merchandise of this show because I love this anime, guys. I'm not ashamed to say that. I've loved this anime since the very beginning of the anime coming out. And it just pains me that it pains me that people never gave it a chance when it first came out, and now that the last season came out, and it, low-key, this anime that last season might win it Anime of the Year, in my opinion, because it's so good. And I mean, I don't watch a whole lot of anime, so I have no idea what else came out this year. I know One Punch Man season 3 came out, and a lot of people didn't like that. And I haven't watched it yet, but I do think My Hero might win Anime of the Year, because that last season was awesome. Sure, it was only 11 short episodes, and to be honest, it's a short season. It was still good. The shots, the images, the story, it was good. It was really good. And I loved that last season. I think each episode got ranked over 9. I think the lowest was 9.1 for that episode. And I think the highest was like 9.8. I know one episode at 9.9 and went down to 9.8 because of the one big romance scene that we get between Ochako and Deku. And that, a lot of people were excited about that. I was personally, because that is my big ship. I'm gonna go over this later on and everything, but just overall, and then the final fight between Deku and Shigaraki was really good too. We've been building up for this for 9 years, guys, and then we finally get it, and it's so good. It is really good, and it delivered on all parts, in my opinion. This show is delivered on all parts, in my opinion, and if you guys have not seen this anime, please go watch it. It is really good. It touches on a lot of really good subjects. My favorite being, you can do anything you want to if you just set your mind to it. That's a big message in this anime, is if you put your mind to it, you can do it. Like, Deku started off quirkless, and he had no way of being a hero, but he always wanted to be a hero, and he never gave up on that dream. And he finally got a chance to be a hero because his idol All Might gave him a quirk. Gave him his quirk. One for all and everything. And it's a great message. Like, if you set your mind to anything, you can become it. No matter what. And even at the end, Deku still becomes a hero without a quirk. And it's so beautiful. And then it just has different messages about heroism, hope, love. And there's even parts of fear. Like, fear, it can be a scary thing, but overall, hope and love are going to get you through that. And that's what happened in My Hero. And that one of my favorite arcs was the Vigilante Deku arc. I love that arc. I thought Deku looked cool. I thought he was using all his quirks, and he just looked amazing. I love his Vigilante costume. You know, it's his normal costume, but he's wearing his hood up, and he looks terrifying, to be honest. He does not look like a hero. And that's the point of it. It's his Vigilante arc. And I loved it. Because some of my favorite characters in all, like, Marvel comics are Vigilante characters, with, like, Deadpool being technically an anti-hero. Vigilantes are technically anti-heroes, to be honest. If I'm being completely honest with you, in my opinion, they're basically anti-heroes, which a lot of really popular Marvel characters fall under. A lot of heroes, I really do like the whole Vigilante arc and everything from Deku. And I don't know. I'm rewatching the anime right now, but I don't remember most of season 6 and season 7. So I want to get to that point because I want to remember more of it. So I'm not going to really be talking a whole lot about season 6 and 7. I remember 8 because I just watched 8, and then I'm right now on season 5. It's like the end of season 5. Actually, I'm on the very last episode of season 5 on my rewatch right now. But no, and then I know I'm rambling, but guys, this is what this whole series is going to be about. It's me rambling on. But this show was I think it was good all the way through. Like, rewatching it, I didn't skip any episodes of the earlier seasons. It's crazy to go back and, like, watch each character grow from season 1 to season 8. And especially, like, Deku. Deku has, like, the most growth throughout the show, in my opinion. Don't get me wrong, Katsuki's got some pretty good one and some pretty good growth. Todoroki does as well. Achako has some great growth as well. I know a lot of people didn't like her. Well, not a lot of people. I know my sister didn't like Achako overall, but she thought she was too bubbly and everything. Was me and my sister used to watch this all the time. And she never liked Achako because she thought Uraraka was too bubbly and too happy, I guess, or something. And I feel like by the end of the show, Uraraka became more grounded, and that's fine. I'm going to be going over more of my opinions on some characters when I talk about my favorite characters and everything, which I'm going to be getting to soon. Don't worry, guys. I'm going to be going over 10 characters that I really liked. I know there's a lot of characters in the show, but I'm going to choose 10, talk about them for a little bit, and I'll probably talk about, like, I don't really dislike a lot of characters, but there are, like, 2 that I do kind of not like a lot. So I'll be going over those 2, and then I'll be going over one last thing, and then just do my final statement after that. So actually, let's move into my top 10 favorite characters. Not in any particular order, guys, but we'll be going into them right now. Alright, I mentioned this earlier, but I want to start here with my favorite character from the entire show, of course, being Deku, or Izuku Midoriya. Deku has been my favorite for not really the longest time, because at first it was Tokugami. I don't know why, I just thought Tokugami was really cool, and then it just evolved more into me understanding Deku's character a little bit more, and actually making a genuine connection with the character, because he kind of does remind me of myself, guys, actually. As a 11-year-old kid, I wanted to be a hero. I was all into that superhero stuff, and I wanted to be a hero. And I was not the bulkiest. I was a pretty skinny kid, guys. I know a lot of people talk about how they have um they have weight problems, but I never was really that heavy. I've been really light most of my life, to be honest with you guys, because I don't know. I was always just really skinny, so I kind of connected with Deku, who was also a pretty skinny kid and wanted to be a hero his entire life, even though he didn't have a quirk. And in this world, and like, I mean, I don't know. I made a genuine connection the more I watched the show, and the more I realized the character of Deku, because I was that skinny kid too, who wanted to do stuff that I wasn't really allowed to. Like, I as a kid, I couldn't play football. Well, I could, but a lot of people did not think I should be playing football because of me being skinny, me having, I wear glasses, so a lot of people are like, you can't play football if you wear glasses because you're going to break your glasses. That was a big thing in elementary school. But, yeah, no, I feel like I could connect more with Deku than any of the other characters, and that I'm going to be are on this list right now. And I had to start with my favorite character because I mentioned it earlier that Izuku was my favorite character, and it just makes sense for me to talk about how because like this is the character I connected with the most, and we spend the most time with him throughout the entire show. That it legit makes sense for me to talk about him first, and just how I was able to connect with him more than anyone because I see myself kind of in Deku, where I I was a skinny kid who couldn't really accomplish some of my dreams. Like, I wanted to be a hero, I wanted to play sports, but I was never really good at many sports. And then I finally found my sport, actually, guys, which was cross country. Being skinny has its perks. I have less body weight, I was able to run faster. I did cross country, I did track, I did running, and yeah, I was just never really into. Well, I was never really good at basketball or football or bowling. I was decent at bowling, but I was never like the best, which were all sports that my high school offered. But I think I fell in love with running. I fell in love with running, and it's kind of like how Deku finally got that quirk. I finally found the sport for me, and I just feel like I connect with Deku the most, guys. Okay, next I'm going to be talking about Ochako Uraraka. Now, I'm going to say this now, guys. She is my favorite female character in this show. I feel like she gets more screen time than a lot of the other female characters, but she is not the only female character that is on this list today, guys. There's one more, and I'm just gonna be honest, I really do like this character. I love her character development from being this little bubbly, down to earth person to just being Deku's love interest to actually being a very grounded person and actually finding herself and find out what type of hero she wants to be. And I really like that. Like, I love good character development and everything. I think she's got some of the better character development throughout the show than some other characters. Like, I feel like there's a lot more interesting Class 1A characters that just don't get the attention they deserve. Like, Tentacle doesn't get a whole lot of attention. And it makes sense because there are like 20 characters in Class 1A, and there's a bunch of different characters throughout this show as well. But I am really happy that they chose to focus on Ochako Uraraka, because I really do like her character. Her character design is awesome. I love her quirk. Like, Zero Gravity is a really cool quirk. And everything, like, out of most of the Class 1A quirks, I think Zero Gravity is probably one of the most interesting quirks. And you can pretty much do a whole lot with this quirk. And don't get me wrong, Ochako Uraraka has a great personality. I love her personality as well. And I have seen a lot of complaints about her character just because, and a lot of characters get complaints that they're just simply only there to be the main character's love interest, and that was what she was for a little bit, was just kind of a love interest to Deku. But I think she kind of became her own character later on in the show, and I think it works really, really well. I really like her character later on in the seasons, and I don't get me wrong, I do love her character seasons, but I think she really shines when she connects more of Toga. Like I love the relationship between her and Toga, and how she wants to save Toga, and the last scene, well, not the last scene, but just the final battle between those two, and how they're just talking and everything, and how Toga decides to sacrifice herself to save Ochako, was really one of my favorite moments in the entire anime. And I love how it affects her as well, and it does give us that one good moment between her and Deku, because this was my endgame shit, to be honest. I really hope this was endgame, and it turned out it was, and I'm really happy that it did. And I really love the character development of Ochako, and that's why she is my favorite female character in the entirety of this anime and of this manga. I love her character development, I love her design. Her voice actor does such a good job with her as well, and that's why she's my favorite female character. Next up on the list is the Quiet Shoto Todoroki. I really do like this. I really like Shoto, and I really like why am I saying Why am I saying that I really like Todoroki when it's the same character? I really like this character. I really do like Shoto Todoroki, and his quirk is amazing, guys. I think it's one of the best quirks in the entire show. Like, half hot and half cold. You get to control ice and fire. Like, that's really cool. Because one of my favorite X-Men is Iceman. And I love how he gets to control ice. And that's what Todoroki basically does. Is the same thing as Iceman. And then controlling fire has also been really cool, too, in my opinion. And he gets to do both. And that just blows my mind. I also love his character story with his family being a broken family. He's got the scar, kind of like Zuko does, from his mom. You know, Zuko's was different. I'm talking about Avatar now, when I shouldn't be. But, no, I really like Todoroki. I love his development from being not wanting to use his fire quirk because of his dad, to embracing it, to trying to forgive his father for what happened, to find out that his older brother Toya is alive and is Dabi, to him and Dabi's fight in season 7. Yeah, it's in season 7, because we don't see most of it. Most of season 8 is Deku and Shigaraki, and it's him connecting with Dabi towards the end. And then we get that time jump at the end of season 8, where you see Todoroki as a pro hero. He's got the T for Toya on his uniform, and I just love that. I love the more quiet characters. I love his relationship with Deku, his friendship. He's always there to support him, and I love him and Bakio. You know, Bakio does not like him at all in some parts. I think they develop a pretty good friendship by the end of the show, and I really do like Todoroki as a character, and his design's cool, his quirk's cool, and I just love Todoroki, and that's why he's up there on my list, because that's why I want to talk about him, because like, he's so cool, and he deserves all the love he gets. Next up is Tenya Ida, guys. I really like Tenya because he has the quirk or superpower that I would have wanted. I always wanted super speed. I always thought super speed would have been fun. Because I liked Dash from The Incredibles, The Flash, The Quicksilver, and then Tenya Ida just came in, and he kind of just did it differently, but he's not a genuine speedster. It's this quirk that gives him his engine. His quirk is the engine, not super speed, and he has engines in his calves that he uses to run super fast. And I thought that was cool, to be honest. And then for the first 4 seasons, the main trio of the show was, of course, him, Deku, and Uraraka. And he was, like, during those first 4-5 seasons, I would have had him over Todoroki, to be honest. But I think Todoroki shined more in the later half of the show. And, like, around the time that Deku went to the Endeavor Agency with him, that's when Todoroki kind of jumped over Tenya, because I feel like Tenya didn't get a whole lot of screen time after that. But then he comes back when Deku has to fight 1A, when he's in Vigilante mode, during his Vigilante arc. And it's not Bakio or Uraraka or Todoroki who gets the last words into Deku that finally convinces him to come back, it's Tenya. It's Ida. One of his first friends. One of his first real friends. And I love that. I love that it was him that got to reach out and chase after him and reach out and just grab his hand and quote what Deku said to him when he fought Stain was, meddling when you don't have to is the essence of being a hero. And I just love that. I loved him and Deku's friendship, and I just love how he just, I don't know, I'm not sure what I'm trying to say here. I just love his character so much. I love his friendship with Deku, and I'm really happy that they decided to have him be the one to do that final reach out to Deku, than instead of like Bakugo or Todoroki or Ochako. I just thought it was so much better, and he can be uptight sometimes, but he is an amazing character, and I don't know, watching the anime back, I just enjoy every little moment between him and the Deku. He's always there and supporting, and I'm really happy in the time jump that he gets to be he works at he took over his brother's agency, took the name Ingenium, and now his brother's also helping him sell with the help of support items. I really love that, and I cannot wait to see more of him and Deku in the last special episode that's coming out in May, guys. Alright, guys, next up on the list is Fumikage Tokoyami. Alright, for the longest time, guys, Tokoyami was downright my favorite character in this show. I loved his design. I really loved the design that he had, and I loved just the mystery behind him and how he didn't really stand in the spotlight. He stayed off in the shadows, and that really made me intrigued in him. But the thing that actually made me like him a lot was his quirk, Dark Shadow. I really love his quirk, especially during the UA Sports Festival, because it looked like he had really no weakness to him. And then he ended up fighting Bakugo, and it was revealed that his biggest weakness is light. And it makes sense, because he loses control of Dark Shadow when he's in darkness, and the Dark Shadow is not as strong when he's in the light. And it kind of makes sense. And I don't know, that sports festival kind of made me love Tokoyami a little bit more. But as I got older, I realized that my favorite was, of course, Deku. But that doesn't mean I did not stop liking Tokoyami. I do. I still love Tokoyami. I'm going through the rewatcher now, and I'm watching him go through his agency with Hawks, and I love the relationship that him and Hawks build. Because, to be honest, without Tokoyami, I feel like Hawks would have joined the Liberation Army and not tried to stop it. To be honest, he might have still done it. I don't know, but he legit made Hawks. I'm trying to remember what Hawks said something about it. I can't remember exactly what he said, but I'm pretty sure it was that he made Hawks believe in the students and the future of heroes again, and I really love that, and I love how during the whole Deku Vigilante arc, once he comes back, Tokoyami is still trying to get in contact with Hawks, and throughout he's also trying to get in contact with Hawks, and it just kind of just gives me the vibe that Deku and All Might give, is that this is his mentor, and he's trying to become the best hero, and then I really liked him, and I felt bad for him during the Class 1A versus Class 1B, because I was really rooting for his team, and they ended up being the only team that lost for Class 1A. And I don't know, it showed that the anime is not scared to show you the weaknesses of this character. They first showed you that he's a strong fighter, but then they ended up pulling a 360 and showing you that he's got a lot of weaknesses to him. He's only a student. And I really like that. They show off the weaknesses, and they show off how caring Tokoyami can be towards his friends. Every time someone gets hurt, he loses control over Dark Shadow. Like, my favorite example of that was in the Two Heroes movie. Not two, yeah. No, Heroes Rising movie. There it is. He is fighting. I'm not sure what her name was. I never know what her name was. But as the lady with the spiky, not spiky hair, but the sharp hair and like the nails and not nails and the not small knives. And it was him and Mina, and they're fighting her. And Mina got hit in the leg by some of the knives, and he lost control. And it shows you just how much he cares for his classmates. That when they get hurt, and he's there. He blames himself. He did the same thing with Soji at the camp that they went to, and it just shows how much Tokuyami cares, and that's why I really like Tokuyami, guys. And I really like how he ended being kind of more like Aizawa with Shinzo, and just staying more in the shadows. And I really do like that, guys. And I still love Tokuyami, but I do like Deku more. But Tokuyami is still one of my favorites, guys. Alright, now it's time for the first and only pro hero on my list today, and that's Shota Aizawa, or Razorhead, if you want to call him that, or Mr. Aizawa. But I love Mr. Aizawa, guys. Like, I love the father figure he gives to a lot of the class 1A, and I love how he just develops from this cranky homeroom teacher to actually caring about his students and caring about Deku and just caring about everyone in his class. Like, when we first met Aizawa, he was stated as a character that would expel anyone if he believed they weren't going to be a hero, and then that gave Deku his first challenge of passing the quirk assessment test that Aizawa did on the first day of classes. And down the line, he just became more and more of like a dad, in my opinion. And I really love him and Eri. I think he's a great father figure for Eri as well. And I don't know, I rank him so high because I generally love this character, because he's legit a good dude who loves his class. You can tell he loves his class. Even though he probably hate to admit it, he does love that class. And he is the best pro hero in that show. Maybe besides for All Might, but for me, out of all the pro heroes, him, like the main three, him, Endeavor, and All Might, he stands out the most to me. Sure, All Might was the number one hero. Sure, he's like his mentor. And sure, Endeavor is the number two who becomes number one, and then so is Dad. But Aizawa was the one that stood out the most to me. And that's why he's the only pro hero that's on my list for right now, guys. And that's why he's the one pro that I think stood out the most to me. Katsuki Bakugo. Where do I begin with this character, guys? How about I start with this? I'm going to be completely honest with you. When I first started watching My Hero, I did not like Bakugo at all. I thought he was your typical, stereotypical bully, bad guy, rival for Deku. I really did not like how he was always yelling and everything. And I don't know why I didn't like it. Like, as an 11-year-old kid, I just didn't like it. I did not like all the yelling. I thought he was too aggressive. But now that I'm in my 20s and I'm rewatching this, it makes sense for his character, and I kind of love it, to be honest. I love Bakugo more as an older adult than I did when I first started watching the show. And it's weird to say that, to be honest. But to be honest, you can never count a character out. Like, my favorite example of that is Steve Harrington. He started off as kind of this, I don't know, I'm not sure how to explain Steve, because I love Steve way too much. That's not a good example, but I love Steve way too much, guys. But no, I think as Bakugo went on, he grew up more and more and gave up that. Well, not really. He never gave it up, but he stopped being so aggressive. You know, it's still there. He's still aggressive, guys. But I don't really know why I didn't like him that much, to be honest. Now that I'm looking back on it, I don't know why I hated this character so much. His quirk is awesome. I love his rivalry with Deku. I love that he keeps the secret of One for All when he finds out about it. And I don't know. I don't understand how I dislike this character. Now that I'm looking back on it, there are a lot more characters that should be disliked over Bakugo. I just think I didn't like him that much because I was starting to like Deku more. Did not like how he treated Deku. But to be honest, I'm looking back on it now. Now that I'm like rewatching the whole anime, I really like this character. I like his quirk. I like his design. Yeah, I liked just his relationship as it grows with Deku. He becomes more and more of a friend. And I will say this, I never understood the whole Baku Deku ship. I never did. And I don't agree with it at all. I think it's way too weird. To me, I feel more like they should have that brotherly bond. Because they basically grew up together. And I consider them more brothers than and that's not me just saying that because I don't know. I'm not saying that because I'm against that type of stuff, but it's just, I don't see it. And people are like, look at the fine line. There's nothing fine in between it. They are more of a rival. They're more rivals than lovers, and I sense more of a brotherly bond with them than anything else. And that's not just me saying that because I was always a big Deku chocolate shipper. Well, I wasn't big on it. That's the one I liked the most, and the one I shipped the most. Because I'm not really a big shipper, but I don't know. If I'm going to talk about Bakugo, I had to talk about that. And I'm just saying that I did not agree with it, to be honest. I looked at the characters differently. I'm not sure what other people are seeing, but I don't know. I'm not going to judge you for who you ship, but no, I do like Bakugo now, guys, more that I'm older, and I will always like him. I love his character development. I love his quirk. I love his design. And that's all I got to say about Bakugo, guys. Alright, now it's time for kind of the big bad villain. And the only villain that's going to be on the list, unfortunately. I'm not saying anything bad about any of the other villains. I do like a lot of them. I like Twice. I like Dabi. I think Toga is a really good character as well. She reminds me of a lot of Harley Quinn when I first saw her. But there's two other characters from class 1A students that I really, really like. And I had to put them over Dabi, Twice, and Toga, in my opinion. That's just my opinion, guys. This is my opinion, guys. Just all these are my opinions, so don't look too deep into it. But Shigaraki, I love his design. Like when you first saw him, it was terrifying. Dude walks out of Kirigiri's portal, covered in hands, and I'm like, holy crap, this dude's gonna be terrifying. And then he acts like a man-child, so it kind of brought him down a little bit, but he started acting like a man-child after he was losing, and I don't know, that's nothing bad against him, to be honest with you. I love his backstory. His backstory was sad. I just got to the point where I'm watching, so I'm in season 5, I just watched the Tomura, the Tenku, his real name is Tenku Shimama, I'm not sure, but I just watched his the 2 origin episodes about him, and it's a sad backstory. Dude, he was abused by his dad, and then he didn't understand why, and he ended up accidentally killing his dog. Like, that made me sad. It was him accidentally killing his dog. Like, that would make any kid sad. His quirk awakens. He does not understand what's going on. He thought someone was attacking his family, when it turned out it was just him. And it's kind of sad, and he got kind of just, I'm going to be honest with you, all for one just kind of took advantage of that. He exposed it. He exposed Shigaraki's dark side and fed only into that dark side instead of being a good parent. And, all for one's a bad guy. Don't get me wrong, there's no good in that man's body. But just not nurturing the good parts of it. And that's what made Shigaraki this villain that he was. And I loved seeing him and Deku kind of connect more, I want to say. As, like, they're the successors to All For One and All Might. And the final fight between him and Deku was peak My Hero right there. I know it's last season, and it's crazy to say it, but the peak is in the last season. the last 2 seasons were peak. His fight with Stars and Stripe was cool. His fight with Deku was cool. Him killing Bakugo surprised me. I'm like, there's no way that just happened. But Bakugo comes back to life, guys. Sorry, spoilers. The show's over, so I don't care. But, no, Shigaraki was a cool character, a great villain. The only downside to it was I feel like All For One kind of just overshadowed him a little bit. Because I think All For One kind of overstayed his welcome. I know he's the big villain of it, and Deku was supposed to have his fight with All For One, which he does. But I kind of wanted to see more of like Tomura taking over, to be honest, and doing this, which he started doing, which I give him props for. But I don't know. I kind of just wish he didn't die. I would have liked to see him and Deku, like Deku save him and him go on this redemption arc. Because that's what I thought was going to happen. Because Horikoshi, the creator of My Hero, was a big Star Wars fan. So I was kind of thinking that was going to happen, and it didn't end up that way. But overall, Shigaraki was a cool character. His design was cool. His quirk was cool. His backstory was sad, and it was also cool as well. I don't talk about a lot of people's backstories, but his backstory is really, really sad and really cool, in my opinion. And once you find out, like, that was his original quirk was not decay. I'm pretty sure All For One gave him his quirk, if I remember correctly, from season 8, but I don't remember because it's been like a week since I last watched season 8. So yeah, I'm pretty sure, and it's just crazy that All For One manipulated everything in Tomura's life, and I don't know. Overall, I love Tomura Shigaraki. He's a great character. He's a great main villain too. I love his development from this man-child to a leader of an army. The leader of the the Liberation Front? I can't remember what he called it. Why am I blanking? I just watched the episode today. It's whatever. But, yeah. Him growing from this man-child to the commander of a legit army and almost destroying the world is crazy turnaround, in my opinion. And great character development. Alright, it's time for the manliest man that's in this show. And that's my boy, Red Riot, also known as Kirishima. Dude, I love Kirishima. Every time I watch the scene with Kirishima in it, I just love it. He's so... I don't know, he was created... Him and Kirishima were created to be the glue of the show, of the class. And that's what they are. I love his relationship with Bakugo. He's like the only... at the start, the first few seasons, he's the only person that made a genuine connection with Bakugo. And then Bakugo starts opening himself up a little bit more and making that genuine connection with Deku. And then I feel like Todoroki as well. And he even respects his classmates. Like, when they were fighting Deku, he trusted Ida to bring Deku back. And, I don't know. I just love how Kirishima is so caring. Love that he had a bigger part in seasons 4 Chihei Saikai arc. I love that. And I just loved seeing him develop his quirk. And, I do kind of wish they gave him more time to shine with his quirk, because his quirk is so cool. And sure, you get, like, I'm talking about, so, the Class 1A versus Class 1B arc. I felt, I get that you're trying to balance it out, but Kirishima barely did anything in his fight, and then you have Tetsu, who does a lot more in his fight, and actually helped his team tie, as he was the reason that Todoroki got knocked out. But overall, I love Kirishima's design. I love his backstory. Because they go into his backstory a lot too. Not everyone's backstory is gone into, but they did. I loved his different style of it, as he didn't look up to All Might. He did, but he looked up more to Crimson Riot. There we go. I was supposed to say Red Riot, but that's his name. But he looked up to Crimson Riot, and he wanted to be a hero. And what actually inspired him to actually become more of a hero was Mina Ashido, and that's because he saw a villain talking to some girls he knew, and he was too scared to move. and Ashido. Why am I starting? What's her name? Stepped in and was more of the hero than he was, and from that moment on, he promised himself that he would be more of a man and never back down from a fight, and he did that. Alright, the last character I want to talk about is Tsuyu Asui. Where do I want to start this off? Her quirk, dude. Frog? That's a crazy quirk. I never thought I'd see a frog be a superpower, but she got it, and holy crap, it's really insane. Her quirk is really powerful. She has a long tongue, she can crawl on walls, she can camouflage, she can jump high. She creates this substance off her body that this tingles a little bit, but I guess if you get too much on it will like kind of paralyze you, which happened to in my favorite My Hero movie was Heroes Rising, when her, Kirishima, Ida, and Todoroki are fighting. I'm gonna call him the Beast. I'm not sure. I don't know his name. I don't know his name, to be honest with you. But she had them she had Kirishima, Todoroki, and Ida put on her substance, and it helped them win the fight, to be honest. I love her friendship with Ochako. They go to the same hero agency with Ryuko and Nejire Hato, and I feel like throughout the entire show, she never takes a back seat. Never. Maybe towards like season 7 and 8, when it's mostly focusing on like Deku's fight and Ochako's fight and then Todoroki's fight. And she's there with Ochako helping to fight Toga, but it's more focused on Uraraka, Deku, and Todoroki, and then Bakugo as well, because Bakugo's there helping with Shigaraki. But like for most of the show, she's never in the back seat. She's always there. She was with Midoriya during the USJ attack in the shipwreck zone. She was there with Uraraka when she first met Toga. She was there, really advocating for them not to go see Bakugo, and then she had to talk with all of them about going to go see Bakugo, and it's just crazy. And then we get that one episode in season 5 where it's back with Uraraka and her and Sue and their agency helping Selkie, which is where Sue went for her internship. It's just, her character is just really awesome, to be honest. She's always there for people. She cares a lot, and I love that her and Ochako are still friends even after the time jump. After when I think it's like I'm not sure how long the one is at the end of the show. I can't remember, but that her and Uraraka are helping do quirk counseling, which I think is admirable, and I really love that. So overall, I love like with most of these characters, I love their quirk. I love her quirk, love her personality, I love her relationships with other people, and overall, I just love her as a character. She's not higher than Ochako, or she's still up there, and at least in my top 10, at least, guys. Okay, so since I already talked about some of my favorite characters, let's talk about the characters that I don't like. It's not that I hate them, it's just that I either find them annoying or I just don't like them overall. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, there's only two characters in this entire show that I do not like. And I feel like they're both pretty obvious. I will give you a hint. One is from Class A and one is from Class B. Class A is Minoru Mineta, and Class B is Monoma. I don't like either of them. I don't know. I think Mineta is just your stereotypical pervert character who is just there to be the perv of the group. I don't think he brings anything special to the show, and he doesn't really have any moments where he shines. He's just there for like comedic relief, if you want to call it that. I don't think anyone really likes Mineta, to be honest. But I don't know. I really don't like him at all. It's not that I hate him, it's just I feel like I would like some more character development from him, but but he doesn't grow at all. The main reason he becomes a hero is so girls will like him. So he'd be cool to girls. That's legit the only reason why he became a hero. He admits this during their final exams for like the midterm for them to go to the training camp. Like, brother. I don't know. And Monoma he just drives me crazy. It's the same thing over and over again with him. He's like, every time he's on screen, he's always like, oh, well, isn't it class 1A? We're so much better than you. I'm like, dude, just shut up. It's every time he's on screen. And it drives me crazy. I don't know. Like, I'd rather hang out with Mineta than Monoma. I think Monoma's my least favorite character in this entire show. His quirk is cool, where he has to copy other people's quirks, but his personality just sucks, dude. It legit sucks. Every time I watch a scene with him, I'm like cringing because like, dude, why are you this obsessed with one class, dude? Like, I don't know what his deal is, but I really don't like them. I don't hate them. I just don't like their characters. Like, I wish I saw Monoma grow to where he's not constantly doing this, but he still does it. Even at the end of Season 8, when he gets the statue, he's still laughing in the faces of Class 1A. Like, dude, I get it. I get it. You want to be better than them. And you have every right to. Your quirk is not flashy. You copy people's quirks, dude. But I don't know. He just drives me crazy. I'd rather hang out with Mineta than him, to be honest. I don't know if I could deal with a person with that personality. I really don't think I could, guys. But those are like the only two characters I dislike throughout this entire show, guys. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is kind of a mixed topic, to be honest. Some people don't like it, other people do, and some people can take it way too far, and that is shipping. I know. Shipping it, to some people, they don't like it, they think it's weird, and other people just do it way too much. I'm kind of a middle ground person, in my opinion, with this. I usually, like, whenever I watch a show, I do kind of find one pair of characters that I like, and I think would be good together. And I mean, I'm not as crazy as me and Ashido, who, if she gets a sniff of romance, she's on top of it. No, I'm not like that, guys. I promise. But I am going to be talking about my endgame ship from My Hero Academia, and that is, of course, Izuku Midoriya and Ochako Uraraka. Okay, so I don't want to make this really long, because I know shipping is a mixed opinion thing, to be honest. There's some people that I will say this, there are people that take shipping way too far. I don't want to say what ships I'm talking about. Just know that there's some that should not even be considered. But I want to mostly talk about why I like this ship the most. Why do I like Izuku Midoriya and Ochako Uraraka more than, say, the other one I think that could happen is, well, not could happen, but I think it's the second. I don't want to say, okay, the Baku Deku ship. No. Like, I'm sorry guys, but the story has more moments between Deku and Ochako as, like, in a romantic way, or just them having a crush on them, than Deku and Baku. Like, they don't have any. I'm sorry. I know that's a big shit that can defer people from this show, but I'm gonna be just giving my opinion on this ship alone. This is probably the best ship in the entire show. I'm just saying. That's just my opinion, guys. This is all my opinion. But, like, these characters have, since meeting each other, have been both each other's best friends, in my opinion. They've always been there for each other. Like, legit, the first time they met was Ochako saving Deku from falling on his face because this dude doesn't know how to walk. And he talks about this in their one scene in season 8 where she has saved him so many times. He's also saved her too, a lot of times. But she's always been there for him, no matter what. When he came back to UA with them after his vigilante arc, and everyone there did not want him there, she was the only one that stepped up. She jumped to the top of the UA High, and gave that impactful speech on why he should stay. And then when Black Whip came out, she was the first one that jumped to him and tried to calm him down. What else was there? Actually, no, because I love the ship. Why am I blanking? She has always supported him. Like, they both support each other. Like, okay. If you have not, I don't want to talk about season 8, but it did come out and a lot of people haven't watched it yet, but season 8, I know a lot of people say the one scene between them that they should have kissed and would have made it 100% better, but I don't agree. I don't think so. In that moment, they did not need love. They just needed... She did not need him to confess there. She needed him to listen. She needed him to support him. Well, support her, which the scene's on screen right now. This scene, they did not need to kiss, in my opinion. I would have probably liked it if they had. I know a lot of people would have. A lot of the Deku Ochako shippers would have liked it, but in this moment, they just needed to be friends. There's no reason for them to do that. And that's what I love about these two, is that they support each other no matter what. They're always there for each other. And to both of them, they're each other's heroes. Legit, the line that Deku says is, "You are my hero." And that is an impactful line. And right there solidifies why I love this ship so much, guys. Is because they're both each other's heroes, and they're both each other's best friends, and I love when friends turn into couples. And that's where I'm going to end this section off. And we'll be going into my final statements. It's crazy to me. I'm sitting down thinking about what I should say. I've gone over my favorite characters, the characters I don't like. I went over what I thought the messages were of the show. I went over my favorite ship. And I've discussed a lot. And there's a lot I can really say, because this has been my childhood. It's crazy to think, I'm going to say it, I'm not ready for My Hero to end. I know there's a spin-off, it's called Vigilantes, where it does take place in the same timeline. I'm not sure if that's still going to be going on or not. And I do know that there's one more episode coming, but the main story is technically over. Season 8 was the last season of My Hero. I don't know, there's a lot I would have liked to see. Like, I would have liked to see a universe where Deku doesn't lose one for all. Like, I want to see a sports festival where he's able to fight with all his quirks. You know, it's kind of unfair. I don't know. There's just a lot that I'm gonna be honest, I'm not ready to say goodbye to this show, because this was my anime. Was my childhood anime. I can't believe I'm saying that there won't be a next episode or a next season or anything. And there's a lot that's coming to an end for this. And as a 20-year-old, I'm looking back and I'm like, man, my childhood's gone. And I don't know. I don't know what I was hoping from this. It's not, I don't know. When I was younger, I was hoping that it would be the next One Piece. Because One Piece has been going on for like so long. And not everything can be like that. I mean, There's so much opportunities here that I'd also like to see a sequel of Class 1A as adults being heroes. And I don't know. I'm not sure what the creator wants to do. And I don't know. But overall, I do want to say this. I have truly, truly enjoyed watching this anime. And to those who don't want to give it a chance, give it a chance. Please. Don't listen to what other people have to say. If people are going to judge you on what you want to watch or on what anime you like, then they should not be in your life. I was lucky to have friends that may have not liked anime, but they still supported me watching it. They didn't care if I watched it, because that's what you get to do. You get to watch whatever you want, guys. And I'm happy I chose to watch My Hero. I don't remember what brought me to watch this anime, but I'm glad I did, because it's a good one. It's a really good one. Like I mentioned earlier, season 8 had every episode get ranked over a 9. Over a 9. A 9.0 rating. And it had some pretty good moments. This anime has some great visuals. And I'm excited to see what they do for the last special episode. I'm hoping it's a long episode, not like a 20-minute one. Because this is going over a full chapter. I'm not sure how long it is because I have not read it. And I'm going into this completely blind, not knowing what's going to happen. So I'm really excited for it. And I will probably do a Let's Talk on it when it comes out. But for right now, guys, My Hero's done. There's no continuation to the story. But, I mean, yeah, there's still that one episode that comes out in May, guys. But overall, I'm happy I got to watch this. It taught me a lot about studying. If I set my mind to something, I can do it. And I set my mind to doing this video, and I'm doing it. Like, it's taking me so long to do, like all the recording, the editing, and everything. And I'm really happy with how it's come out, guys. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video too. I really do. And please keep following me on my journey. I don't know what my ambitions are right now. That's the big thing that I need to figure out, is what do I want my ambitions to be. Deku's was to become the number one hero. Bakugo's was also to become the number one hero and surpass All Might. Achako's at first was to become a hero to help her parents, but you gotta set a goal for yourself, and I'm gonna try and figure that out. I do know for this channel, I want to reach 1,000 subscribers. Maybe by the end of this year, who knows? I want to take it one step at a time and just enjoy the moment, and I don't know. But I do want to end this off with saying one more time, guys, please, if you have not watched this anime, please go watch it. I know it could be cringy sometimes, but go watch it. If you have already watched it, go back and enjoy every small moment, that small character interaction, small moments between two different characters, and just enjoy it. Because I really have. So I plan to go back and rewatch it and just enjoy it again. It's always going to be there. I don't think Crunchyroll or wherever you watch anime is going to get rid of this anime. But this is a really good one. And it shaped an entire generation. So please go give this anime a try if you have not seen it. Because it is one of the greatest animes, in my opinion. But for right now, guys, I'm going to be leaving it off here. This is the first episode of my Let's Talk series. And I hope you guys enjoyed. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.